Hi, this is Babylon 5 Blast Day 4. This is that section of the show where people say, okay, it really got good. I don't know what it is about the third season with the show, but it's often the charm. It was that way with Next Generation, it was that way with DS9, and it seems to be that way with Babylon 5. Of course, the difference with Babylon 5 is that Straczynski's dealing with an entire arc, and here he can really dig into it. Are there parts that feel a little heavy-handed? Yeah. The Orwellian elements, the stuff with the Night Watch, the British diplomat who has brokered some peace and then comes on board and says, we'll have peace in our time, which is a famous Neville Chamberlain quote. This is a case where I really wish that he would trust the intelligence of the characters a little bit more. I can accept a line like that if Sheridan turns around and says, yeah, Neville Chamberlain said that, and look where that got us. When the show gets into the heavy-handed allegories, it feels like I'm watching a heavy-handed allegory. When the show has some very quiet, very personal moments, it absolutely soars. And there's a moment when Vir and G'Kar find themselves on an elevator. This is after the Centauri have done all sorts of terrible things to the Narn homeworld, and they've gotten into all sorts of conflict, and it's been the fault of the Centauri. And here's Vir, and he has no connection to it whatsoever, really. G'Kar, however, is in a great deal of pain. Vir says, I wish I could apologize, and the long and the short of it is that G'Kar says, you can't. It's impossible. You know, as an American, we often find ourselves in a position where we're not that popular with the rest of the world, and trying to communicate the fact that we as individuals are not the government can be tough. This is a moment that really sums that up. And the great thing about that moment, and I believe it's in the episode called The Long Twilight Struggle, is that I guess you're supposed to sympathize with G'Kar, and I guess you're supposed to think, gosh, maybe there are no words. But I don't know if that's the case. And certainly I sympathize with Vir, who, as I understand, becomes one of the great true heroes of the series. So that I've had a lot of fun with. Okay, backstage story, very briefly. The Zen Sand Garden. In Season 3 and in Season 2, we see a lot less sand in it. And the reason is this. In the hiatus between Season 1 and Season 2, when I got there, I started working on things again, I was told a horror story. You know, we were doing the show in this water pick factory, or water fountain factory, that had been converted. And in fact, we were right next door to the factory that made Orange Bang, or Orange Whip, which is an Orange Julius type drink that they used to sell in movie theaters. Mark Walters used to threaten to go by the Orange Bang factory and look at the employees over there who'd be having a smoke break or whatever and yell, "Orange Bang is people!" He never did, as far as I know, but I wish he had. Very funny man. Very funny man. He was the prop master on the show, and I think became the art director. Vastly talented individual. So the Zen Sand Garden, it's a bunch of sand, and we're doing the show in this, you know, converted factory kind of building. Not exactly secure. Cats. So all I'm gonna say is cats plus gigantic box of sand.